Okay, guys, this is round two of this round two on intermittent fasting, round two of round two, because I just tried posting over on my Minnesota Mom page, and it was a massive failure for two reasons. One, I couldn't get my iPad to work, so I am now on my phone, and it looks better, and I can actually see who's watching, and I can engage you, and I think that my iPad, I'm just like gonna put it out the window because I can't do Facebook Live videos the way that I like to do Facebook Live. So it was very awkward and uncomfortable, and to anyone that watched it, I'm sorry. Watch this one instead, okay? Because this is the one that we're gonna keep, okay? So I'm sorry, first of all, I apologize that I am going to be talking about this again on Minnesota. Well, I thought by posting on my Minnesota Mom page that I could kind of keep the discussion to the followers of my blog and not implicate family and friends and the people on, my friends and family, because you shouldn't have to go through this unless you want to. And this is a discussion that I have more in my blog than I do with family and friends, kind of. Does that make sense? But if you're here, well, we're talking about, you want to talk? You want to say hi? That was daughter number two. She walked away. So we're here to talk about intermittent fasting. Okay, so what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent means you don't do it all the time. You have an intermittent period, a period when you fast. Fasting means you don't eat. You have beverages instead. Really good beverages, like the kind that you're addicted to. Oh, sorry. Okay. So what I do and what I've done, it's been a year this summer that I got some books and started reading to try and figure out a plan. Come say hi. No, teenage daughter won't come say hi. That would help me to modify my eating and to establish a health and wellness plan that would be sustainable. So that is why when I came across a couple of books, and I can show you what they are if you'll wait patiently. First of all, I know this is Friday night and most of you aren't even here. So why aren't you here? Are you off doing like meaningful things? You're not on Facebook on Friday night at like 6:47? I can't believe why you wouldn't be here. But you know what? This is just an experiment to see. And I wanted to talk about it. So here I am talking about intermittent fasting. Again, to back up, I had a post on, hang on, I'm going to the book that I wanted to show you. I had a post on Wednesday night about intermittent fasting, and it was very stream of consciousness and a little random, and I was like sitting in the path at the park, and there were people walking by, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And it was awkward, and so, I mean, at this time I've actually, I actually have like a list of things that I want to talk about. See, I'm organized. It's not random. It's not stream of consciousness. It is, I have a dry erase board. Yeah, woo. Okay. So the first question is, how long have I been doing it? I've been doing it 1 year. Has there been a learning curve? Absolutely. It's like this. Okay, the learning curve. Okay, when I first started out with trying to fast, and now keep in mind, fasting is something that as a Catholic, we do every Ash Wednesday and every Good Friday during Lent. Most of us, I think it's safe to say, hate fasting, despise fasting, and I would just like, it was like this huge mental block for me, and the hunger, it was, so to be doing this consistently, that shakes it for me. I'm happy that it's going well. And it is going well. Health-wise, I feel really good. I've lost about 10 pounds, which, I'm older. I'm 51. And I had a hard time losing like this chunk of weight. So that's been good, but that's not the main reason why I've liked the fasting. And now what I want to do is I want to just show you two of the books that have been very, very helpful to me, because if you're interested in following a fasting program, if you're interested in intermittent fasting, if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, you can look it up. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to the cover of one of the books that I use. I have them both on my Kindle, so that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so here's the first book. Okay, The Complete Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung. Excellent resource for learning the ins and outs, the wheres, the whys, the hows of fasting, with recipes, different approaches, different ways to do it. This book was really good for me to read. And then the other book that has been very, very helpful is called Delay, Don't Deny. Okay? And now her approach, her name is Jen Stevens, and she promotes having a window. Okay, so it's like during the day you close your window for a certain amount of time. And so you say, I'm going to wake up. And when you wake up and you're hungry, okay, you have breakfast, right? And breakfast means you're breaking your fast. That's where the word comes from. But with the intermittent fasting, you wait. So you're hungry, and instead you have coffee, black coffee. I always do coffee with cream because I cheat. And you have fizzy water, and you just wait. And you fast until noon, 1, maybe 2 or 3. And while you're fasting, your body is learning to get used to not having a constant supply of calories, constant, the insulin is not always being, what's the word? Let's see why I'm not a doctor. Okay, it helps with your insulin, the insulin release, so that it stabilizes your metabolism. It's an amazing, health-wise, it's an amazing, what's the word I'm looking for? Hello. Someone that I love just joined the conversation. So we're talking about intermittent fasting and how it's been really, really good for health and wellness. Say that one 3 times fast. Health and wellness program that I've been doing. Okay, so I wanted to talk, about the successes and failures of intermittent fasting. For me, personally, first one is weight loss, 10 pounds. That's good. It's better how I feel, much, much better. And then the second is that it takes the guesswork out of a diet. So if you wake up and you say, okay, I'm going to fast until noon or 1 or 2, I usually fast to like 3 or 4. And actually it sounds crazy, but it's not. The more you do it, and then when you sit down to eat, it's like this amazing experience. And it's been really good and helpful. And another reason why I like it so much is that I tend to have a very all or nothing personality, for better or for worse. And this is a good way for me to just say no for a little bit of time and then say yes. Okay. And if I know, for example, as a stay-at-home mom, it's very, very hard not to eat all day long, not to snack, to have the BLTs, the bites, licks, tastes. My kid didn't eat his mac and cheese. I'm going to eat that. And, the French toast bites that they've left on their plate, and all of that. It's a really bad habit to get into, especially over the long run. So that's why thank you, I'm doing a fast, and I know that I'm not going to eat, that little French toast stick or whatever. It just takes the guesswork out for me. And there's an expression, let me think of it, 100% is easy, but 99%, let me try it again, 100% is easy, 99% is a bitch. Which means that if you're saying, I'm going to do this, it's easier than if you think to yourself, I might do this, I might not, because it creates, when you say that, it creates kind of a cognitive dissonance in your head, and your brain doesn't really know what's it going to be, and you go back and forth, and you have to keep second guessing your decision. That's another reason. That's a huge reason why this program has worked for me. Then there are two more things I wanted to talk about. The first is the whole idea of extended fasting, which is going longer than just part of the day. You go 1, 2, 3, even some people go like 7 days without eating, and I think that might sound really crazy to some of you. And even for me, I talked about it on my Wednesday night Facebook Live that I was doing a 36-hour fast. For any of you that saw that, you're like, really impressed. I failed miserably. I bought a Sam's Club rotisserie chicken, and I was like a ravage. I was like a beast. That was day 2 of my my would-be extended fast. So, please don't think that I made it. So I think what it comes down to is we have to find a plan that works. And because this has worked really well for me, the third reason, and this is the reason I'm the most excited about intermittent fasting, is that there have been spiritual benefits that I didn't expect. And I talked about fasting during Lent and how much I hated it. And the whole point of fasting during Lent is to make a small sacrifice to draw closer to our Lord, and just to get into that season of penance. And I was so weak, and all I could think about was, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. But now there's not that barrier there. I mean, there's a real freedom to be able to say no to yourself. And so I found that it has helped me in 2 big areas, which in terms of temperament, I have a very, the word is sensuality, so it's the different things. So some people are prone to pride, vanity. Mine is sensuality, meaning I really like to eat and drink and all the things that are sort of, related to the senses. And it's been very, very good for me to say no to myself. Myself is like, hey, I don't like it, but you know what? Yeah. And then the other thing that's been really good for me is the temperance. So the temperance element of fasting is learning, and I guess that goes with saying no, right? That to be able to say no from time to time, and to strengthen that muscle, the willpower muscle, has been huge for someone like me who's been so weak in the past. So God is good, and again, I thought I would take a more rational approach to this intermittent fasting discussion than I did the other night. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and feel free to leave comments in the bottom with any questions that you have. If any of you is following an intermittent fasting plan, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get some feedback on how it's working for you, because I'm just really, really like celestial choirs with how it's going for me, because I've tried several programs, and I don't even look at intermittent fasting as a diet. I look at it as a lifestyle of being able to say no and be temperate, and just kind of grow in your faith and in what God is able to do in you and you with Him. So God bless. Have a great weekend.